in the line with me, Re Mokhomotsi Kabelo, who is the brainchild behind Marriage Builder annual event. So, a very good morning to you, Ms. Re Kabelo.
Good morning, Tabisa. How are you?
I am doing well, and thank you very much for having this conversation with me. I just want us to get right into the conversation, help the listeners understand what is Marriage Builder and where does it come from, what are some of its objectives, and what is the importance of this event being hosted year in, year out.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I want to greet everyone listening to us, Bareti Baduma FM. God bless you greatly. Well, maybe I should introduce myself. I am Mokhomotsi Kabelo, the founder of the Marriage Builder together with my wife. And this has been running since 2006. It was actually started out of different reasons, our love for family, our love for love. And also, as the years have gone by, we can see that the institution of marriage is deteriorating. And therefore, the need to build, the need to enhance, to refresh, and to strengthen couples. So it's many, many reasons, but the motivation is being we love love, we love families, and we wish to see people making it in this institution.
Amazing. So this past edition, this year's edition, which was held in March, was the 15th edition of this seminar. So please just allude for me in just a minute the consistency that you've built and how you were able to build a consistency for 15 editions.
Yeah, so we just started this first in the church. I'm also a pastor for Faith Covenant Ministries International. So this was initially more like a church program. So we started small with our members, and then they started inviting their friends. We invited friends. And then over the years, we've grown out of the church to start meeting in larger venues like hotels and conference centers. Like this year, we had Travel Lodge with almost over 250 couples. So it's just been growing over the years, and I believe what keeps people coming back is the benefit they get from the seminar. I think a lot of people give us feedback that the seminar is empowering them and it's really helping their marriages a lot.
Thank you very much, Pastor Rekabelo. We will be just going for a young break, and then after that we will be getting deeper into the conversation. What are some of the benefits that you've seen with hosting this event, and how has your objective of really just growing and empowering people in this institution, how it has actually helped Bailongore they come year in, year out? And I believe there are some Bailongore that are consistent. This 15 editions, they've been there from the start, and they are always looking forward to it. So right after this break, we will be getting into that.
Thank you so much.
A very good morning. As I did mention, the time 10:29. More to my fam, more talk, more music.
Stock up after the holidays with Trans Wacky Weekend Promotions. Back to school Mopako combo at $199.95. The all-new Big 3 combo with 12.5 kg Snow White flour, 12.5 kg A1 Super Maize meal, and 3 kg Pasta King macaroni for $249.95. 750 grams Excella Tangy mayonnaise, $19.95. 700 ml Wellington tomato sauce, $18.95. 250 ml Nando sauce assorted, $23.95, and many more in store. Available at all Trans stores countrywide. Valid from 6th to 9th October 2023. T's and C's apply. Trans Cash and Carry. Bigger savings. Better living.
Makabaneng International Creative Arts Festival 2023 presents a space for creatives to learn, network, acquire skills to grow and monetize their craft. Theme for this year's event is the creative space as a business, understanding and monetizing your craft. Begins on the 27th to the 29th of October 2023. It features the official opening on the 27th with an all-encompassing art expo, masterclasses, and networking. The second day will feature a music festival to unwind and celebrate the music industry through the picnic session at Waga Gardens, Gaborone. And the last day will feature an evening closing reception masquerade theme gala dinner. Do catch daily updates on our social media handles, Facebook and TikTok. Makhabaneng International Creative Arts Festival.
You ready, B?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go get 'em.
Let's get it. Let's go. Amplified Mid Mornings on your radio. My name is Dr. Jane Kosimori, host of Drive Through with B. Whether you're on that cul-de-sac, highway, honey, let's take a drive Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Well, let's make a pit stop and serve some mental health related topics and social issues faced in most households. And of course, everything music. It's Drive Through with B, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. until 2 o'clock. Hashtag Drive Through with B.
Zakai J.
Your favorite FM dial. The hot spot is right here. More music.
The time 10:33. Hone mo Duma FM, more talk, more music. Seroma se segolo and lona le nna Thabisang Modimo thata re ntse re tsweletse hela lo ngwana go gangwa ketse re batla go no go bua ka kgang ya lenyalo gore mosola lenyalo ke eng in this day and age e leng gore re bona ba ileng gore ba mo di televisioning Hollywood ba kgaogana e le gore tsore king this thing of marriage they don't even see it as quite important mme gompieno re buisana le ene re mo go mutsi Kabelo we leng gore always hosts an annual event biduala go the marriage builder a bone mosola go no gore ba kgone go kopana ba buisane ka lenyalo ba kgone go encourage ba bangwe ba leng gore you know what they're struggling through these streets, but they want to make it better. Because as I did mention earlier, reflections of an African woman, marriage is an institution for two people, not for one person. So the work has to be felt from the left and from the right, from the two parties that come together. And for in line with Men Crush Monday, every Mondays I do have a male hosting, a male is making it big, is doing such enormous milestones in our nation. And this 15th edition has been going on for years and years. What are some of the benefits and some of the success stories that you've heard? Banna ba solohetse go lo gontsi mo yone bokopano bo eleng gore you host it every single year.
Yes, thank you so much. I think maybe a little background will help so that people can understand where we come from. So initially, I used to just be the only speaker addressing basic subjects, around the subject of marriage, love, and all that. And then over the years, we also realized that there are areas that influence marriages that we need to speak into. So we've invited lawyers to come and deal with issues of law, issues of property, and all that. We've brought in finance specialists. We've brought in doctors like gynecologists. So we've always tried to bring other people to come and work with me. I'm the constant speaker on the platform as the founder and the person, the brain behind the whole thing. But I always bring other specialties to come in enhance and speak into other areas that I feel I might be limited in. Last year we've had a psychologist come through. So we always have those kind of resources that we bring through. So you can see that the level of impact, in families and marriages and in couples will actually be more and broad. So over the years, because of the richness of the content and the impact, that this program has on the lives of people, many people have continued to invite more and more people. And as you said before, we have people that have actually been part of this. Some of them goes to 10 years, some into 13 years, like they've been coming continuously without fail. So, and you see marriages that are actually being mentored by the marriage builder, because outside the actual meeting, we do have, spend time with couples, people who need our services. We sit down and we look at the individual cases. So when you look at a lot of people and you sit with them and you interview them, you see that there's a lot of impact in their marriages. There's more life. People have tools, they're equipped to know what to do in different circumstances. Because when we deal with this thing, we deal with very, diverse things. Like one of the major lines that I always bring up is that love is not a feeling. For example, most young people, they fall in love out of feelings, infatuation and the euphoria of the moment, which is okay. It is what brings us together. But you cannot sustain such an institution for so many years. I've been married personally for 22 years, based on feelings. So you need to be taught and you need tools and guidance in how to now sustain, the relationship in different seasons, And so, so we've seen a lot of people grow, a lot of marriages mature, a lot of stereotypes being broken, because maybe some people entered marriage with certain perceptions. And because of the illumination and the light that we give, many people end up growing and maturing and enjoying their marriages.
Great stuff. The growth is tremendous. It is felt, it is seen, it is very, very evident. So just to piggyback on the point that you said, love is not quite a feeling. I did pick up one of your videos where marriage is not only I love you and then you kiss somebody and good night. There should be intellectual intimacy. So please, for the listeners, Baduma FM, just expand more on intellectual intimacy for us.
Yes. Yeah, so I think the general understanding of intimacy, generally speaking, you find that people only think of physical intimacy or sexual intimacy. And they actually do not know that there are many other types of intimacy that actually will feed into the physical or sexual intimacy. And one of such, as you say, is intellectual intimacy. That the personal development of the individual in the marriage and their career, their training, you can bring that into the marriage as also something that is going to bring you together. For example, when I start talking to my wife about my field, I'm a physiotherapist by profession. So when I talk to her about my field, I challenge her I make her understand my wealth, but the same also is with her. And so the more you are able to reason at a certain level, you realize that you are able to connect and fulfill and challenge each other at a certain level. And you develop a common sense of understanding of things. So now the problem with this is that if one partner is not developing themselves, they don't read, they don't attend seminars, they don't improve themselves, they are going to become boring in this space in the relationship. So it's very important that we develop ourselves, we become relevant, and we are able to challenge ourselves and challenge each other in this aspect, of intellectual intimacy.
Hey, the people need to hear this one. It's not just yo at some point, let's sit down and just have a very intellectual conversation. Tap into what your career is all about, what was interesting at your work today, so that so that the other partner in that case is even empowered to be like, okay, let me go understand what my partner is doing in a daily basis, and just understand build some curiosity, just so that sometimes you talk high level conversation and not just always normal day to day, how are you, how was your day.
Yeah. And sometimes people mismatch themselves. You find that you are a very highly intellectual person and go-getter. You are really knowledgeable about a lot of things. Excuse me. And then you are going to marry a person that doesn't really know anything. To the extent that when you talk on the phone, you speak English. And they just start thinking that there's something going on, and they don't really feel, they don't fit the level that you are in. So you find that just small things like that can cause a disconnect. So you need to also not mismatch yourself. You need to, be in a relationship with someone that can challenge you at that level, so that you are able to grow together and challenge each other and develop in the right direction.
Most definitely. I do feel you are dropping some great gems as advice and some pointers in building a strong marriage. But then I want to rather highlight, Honohori, what is your opinion, as you even called the event Marriage Builder, and you are of the thoughts of wanting to build strong marriages. So just share with us, in your contribution, what are some of the principles that contribute to building a strong and lasting marriage?
Quite diverse. I'm an advocate, for example, of a premarital counseling for people who start families. In my premarital sessions, I cover a broad number of topics. I try to do a 10-course, series. Some of the topics, for example, I deal with is the fundamentals of marriage. As a pastor, I believe that marriage is from God. You see, so the first session, I deal with the blueprint, the God type of marriage, because the family or the couple must understand that the source of marriage is God, and if it's going to work, we need to work it by the principles of the manufacturer. So we can't take a Mercedes-Benz and start fixing it using the manual of Toyota, for example. So God is the author of marriage, and therefore, for a fulfilling and successful marriage, we need to know the fundamentals of marriage through the eyes of the Maker. The other topic I deal with is communication. Communication is very key. It's actually, in my world, it's central to everything else that we do, because finance requires communication. Sexuality requires communication. Dealing with in-laws requires communication. And so all other things we do, communication is at the center of those things. The other type of topic we deal with is love in the marriage. So we unpack love, and we explain the types of love. And what is love? Like I said, love is not a feeling. Love is a decision. You can't base your marriage on feelings because feelings change. So you need to actually understand that love is not, it's not a feeling, it's a decision. So we deal with the concept of love languages, and all those things. Things like faithfulness and unfaithfulness, how to avoid unfaithfulness, how to remain faithful, the repercussions of being unfaithful. For example, we deal with duties of husband and duties of the wife. In this changing, times, we need to redefine those things. In the past, women used to stay home, cook, clean, husband goes to work. So we need to now re-look at that because women now go to work and some men stay home. So we need to go into that and look into that. We look at principles of finance, in-laws, background, temperament, sexology and sexuality, and issues of vows. So these are different areas that in our seminars we address from different directions. In a different way, of course, in a seminar to make it more interesting, more impactful, and more practical for couples.
That is big and big and big. So we have a WhatsApp here. Hello, Dima. How about when your partner spends more of his time with friends than with his wife? How can you advise on that? So I feel the time is 10:47. Just in like 2 minutes before we round up our conversation, you can respond to that question. Their wife. How can you advise in that situation?
Yes. You see, so these are maybe some type of couples that never went through both premarital counseling or what. You understand? So, like I'm dealing with a couple now. I just opened their eyes to issues of the love language, for example. The wife had a similar cry, like the listener. And when I brought light to love languages and I spoke about quality time and acts of service, it was then that the husband realized that part of the cry of the wife for the need to spend time together is actually in her makeup to feel loved by spending quality time with their partner. So the ignorance of the spouse may just think that this woman wants me to stay home, wants me to always be there. So you find that knowledge and information rather empowers now and makes people understand the whys of why they do what they are doing, or why they should do what we say they should do. I don't know if I'm answering the question properly.
That is most definite. I believe we really allow the tahonori what is the issue and how can they be assisted. These things need, as you do mention, you do advocate really counseling and talking about these various issues. And I do want to applaud Honohoro. You are mentioning that you are an advocate for premarital counseling. So just also allude Honohore, look at la host there, Marriage Builders Singles Edition. Just talk for me in just under 2 minutes, Halahore. What is the purpose of even talking to the singles so that as they elevate into these different roles, wanting to then get married, what is the importance of talking to Banahor that are also singles as before they even get into this institution?
Oh, that is very, very key. Because you also meet people in this platform of the Marriage Builder who says, if I knew this before I got married, I would have been a better spouse, I would have behaved differently, I would not have made the mistakes that I've made. So you realize that empowering singles better places them to become better spouses, even when it comes to choosing people. So we have recently started in a small way, like we started this big one in the past, the Marriage Builder Singles Edition. So it's still very, very young, coming up, mainly now doing it at the church. Yes, some people are coming. So my vision is that in the long term, it should also grow and go outside the church walls so that we can have a forum where we are able to empower singles in the nation, not just at maybe my church level. So it's very, very key for people to have an understanding before they get into marriage.
Very, very key. Yaka we bua gono gore have the thought, like understand it. Yaka le nana ke ne ke ipotsa gono gore tota me ke tla go bua ka dikgang tse di tona yana ke sa tlhaloganye sepe ka tsone yaka o bua. It's just a matter of learning. So when you get into that institution, you know what are some of the challenges, how to overcome the challenges, and what are some of the blessings and the good things that you can understand through this institution. So just to round up, Re Kabelo gore, besides you organizing and being interested in understanding love and empowering people about love in the event you're now marriage builder, what else do you do? You pastor a church. What are other accolades that you do to inspire the men? It is a Monday, Men Crush Monday, and we are talking empowering the male child.
Yeah, so I'm primarily, by profession, I'm a physiotherapist. I graduated from the University College Dublin in Ireland in 2003. And I worked at Marina in 2007. I started my clinic. I ran a clinic called Ultimate Physiotherapy Clinic in the CBD area, Makaboro. And then I also am a pastor, like I said. I pastor the church called Faith Covenant Ministries. It has been in operation since 2005. So this year we are celebrating our 18th anniversary as a church. Currently in that line, I have my master's in divinity, currently studying for my PhD in ministry. So these are some of the things that I do. And then I travel a lot intensively, speaking in different platforms, both nationally and internationally. I'm a conference speaker and more like an empowerment type person.
Interesting accolades. Thank you very much, Re Mohomotsi Kabelo, for having this conversation. And I believe my curiosity is fed. The listeners' curiosity is also fed in terms of understanding the institution of marriage and also just the work that it takes. Because for something to bloom and for it to flourish, you need to put in that work.
Definitely. Marriage is work. When you stop working, it stops working. I also wanted to say the next year's edition, just maybe for people to mark their calendars, is the 23rd of March, 2024. So save the date, mark your calendar, and barricade that date and make sure that you join us.
Thank you very much. And I believe transparency in the marriage, communication in the marriage, and I believe it will be amazing to talk more and also to attend that event. Thank you very much, Re Mohomotsi Kabelo, for the conversation this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm always available. Anytime you want to talk, we can talk.